right. So come right up to the front of your chair and have your feet underneath your knees. And we're going to start with a little bit of breathing here this morning ourselves. So spread your toes out and get them down on the ground. Get that good connection going. And then notice where your head, your neck, and your shoulders are. See if you can relax everything there. Close your eyes and drop into your breath. So just notice first the way that your body's breathing this morning. Is your breath even from left side to right side? Is it a little easier to breathe in and out through one side than the other? Do you feel like you can get a full breath, or does it feel like you're a little restricted this morning? Can you do all or most of your breathing through your nose as opposed to using your mouth? And then start to deepen your breath. So breathe in a little bit longer, a little bit slower. And breathe out a little bit longer and a little bit slower. So breathing in a little bit longer, a little bit slower, breathing out a little bit longer and a little bit slower. And see where you feel movement in your body in response to the breath. Do you feel your rib cage move? Do you feel your belly or your back or your waist move? Do you feel movement in your shoulders, your chest, your upper back? And perhaps you feel some movement in your head, your neck, your arms, hands. Perhaps you feel movement down into your hips, legs, feet. So every inhalation, every exhalation initiates some movement in your body. Take in a nice full breath and hold that breath in. See if you can take in a little bit more breath and hold it in. And then let it out with a sigh. And let your eyes open, returning to your natural breath. And we'll just do some movement for the head to start. So chin comes down and up. It's like you're saying yes. And as your chin comes down, see if you can tuck your chin toward your collarbones. And as your chin comes up, try to keep the back of your neck lengthened as well. So in other words, when your chin comes up, don't let your head fall back. Try and keep it lifted and elevated. And you can go slowly here. You don't have to do a great, huge range of movement if that doesn't feel good. A couple more. Oh. And then when you come back to that neutral position, you're going to turn left and right, or right and left. So just the head, turning from side to side. It's like you're saying no. It's like a big slow motion no. And you're breathing in and breathing out, and it doesn't matter when. And the next time you have your head turned to the right, stay there. And with your head turned to the right, pull your right shoulder back and press your left shoulder forward so you get a little twist in the upper back. Breathe in, breathe out. Coming back to that neutral position. Now turn just your head to the left. Pull your left shoulder back and your right shoulder forward. And again, we're just trying to get a little bit of a twist in that upper part of the spine. And then pull everything back into that neutral position in the center. And one more time, turn your head to the right. Pull your right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back to that center or neutral position, turn your head to the left. Pull the left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. And then coming back to center. Good, let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. So just kind of roll. Okay, and now you're going to take your shoulders right up to your ears. So squeeze your shoulders up to your ears. Keep breathing. So it's like you're trying to make like a little turtle here, right? So you've got the shoulders up by the ears, and then all at once you're going to drop your shoulders down. Good. So again, squeeze the shoulders up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And as you're squeezing your shoulders up, imagine you could pull your head down in between your shoulders. So really creating that turtle effect, right? So you're still breathing though. And then all at once, you're going to drop your shoulders. Good. And again, pull the shoulders up, pull the chin down, the head down. Keep breathing. Keep squeezing those shoulders. And then drop all at once. Good. One more time, we're going to do this. So squeeze those shoulders up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Chin comes down, or trying to pull your chin down, rather. And then drop. Good. All right, let's roll the shoulders again. So we're rolling nice big circles here. Nice big shoulder circles. And then reverse direction and roll the shoulders in the other way. So rolling, rolling, rolling. Good. And now can you roll your right forward and then roll your left forward and then roll your right backwards. Keep breathing. Roll your left backwards. Can you roll your right forward and your left backward? Your right forward and your left backward. Right forward, left backward. So it's not the whole arm, it's just the shoulder, right? Forgot where I was. Okay, and then can you roll your left forward and your right backward? Left forward, right backward. Left forward, I know, right backward. Couple more times. I'm getting right into the brain stuff right away. One more time. Good. Excellent. Okay, take your arms down by your sides, and we're just going to tap the shoulders. So here we're just doing a little movement for the elbows now, right? So we got all this great shoulder movement, neck movement. So now we're just warming up the elbows a little bit. So elbows do more than just bend and extend, but this is a nice way to wake them up. And then the next time you tap your shoulders, you're going to go up overhead and extend, and then to the shoulders, and then down and extend. And up and extend, and down and extend. Now you can go up as high as is comfortable. So if you want, reach, reach, reach as you come up, and as you come down, reach down, right? If that doesn't feel okay for you this morning, just do the best you can. So the more effort you put in, the more you're going to feel this in the shoulders and the elbows. Yeah. So just a couple more of these. Good. And the next time your hands are on your shoulders, pause here. And we're going to bring the elbows out to the sides. Keep your elbows at parallel to the floor, right? So in other words, they're not moving up and down, and they're not down here. They're right up here. And we're just going to extend the arms and bend the arms. I'm sorry I didn't have you check for neighbor distance, right? So the next time your hands are in on your shoulders, make like a light little fist, and imagine you're holding 5-pound weights. Right? And we're going to slowly extend with those 5 pounds and then bend with the 5 pounds. Okay, so slow on the extension. And you're squeezing your muscles right here, your Popeye muscles, right? You're squeezing those muscles. You're not necessarily squeezing your fists if that doesn't feel okay. Can you squeeze your muscles here but not squeeze your fists? Can everybody do that? No, not really? If you can't, squeeze your fists then, and you'll feel it all the way up, right? Can everybody get that? If you squeeze your fists, you can feel it go all the way up. Now see if you can keep that squeezing sensation in your arm, but relax your fists. Okay, let's try it this way. Next time your hands are on your shoulders, I'm just going to magically change the weight. It's 10 pounds, right? So imagine, just think about, get in your mind, I have 10 pounds in my right hand, 10 pounds in my left hand, and I'm really slowly going to extend. Feel how heavy that weight is, right? So it's in your mind how heavy that weight is, and you're slowly bending, and you're bringing it back in, right? So nice and slow, 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 nice heavy weight. And slow, 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 heavy weight. We're going to just do one more time. Good, keep breathing. So when you bring your fists into your shoulder this time, I'm going to have you really squeeze those Popeye muscles, right? So you're squeezing as hard as you can, these Popeye muscles right here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you're still breathing. And then relax everything down. Let your arms hang down by your sides. Close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths in and out. And notice all the sensations in your arms, your hands, your fingers, your nice biceps muscles. Those are the Popeye muscles, by the way. And then let your eyes open. Okay, let's circle at the wrists a little bit here. So we worked the shoulders. We worked the elbows. We're down at the wrists now, right? So wrists are circling, and circle the other way. Good. Okay, and then take your elbows in nice and tight to your body. Bring your hands like you're going to play the piano, right? And without moving your elbows away from your body, you're going to move your wrists so that your hands go from side to side. So just your wrists, it's not the whole arm, it's just the wrists. Look down at your hands. Your forearm shouldn't be moving from left to right. Your hands only. That's a little trickier, right? Okay, can you turn your palms up and do the same thing? So again, just the hands, right? So if you look down at your hands, if your arms are doing this, we want to do it this way. Okay, and then palms facing one another, make a light fist. And we're just going to go up and down this way without moving the arms. So not this. It's just at the wrist. Just at the wrist. I like to isolate movements like this because we tend to, when we don't have movement somewhere, we recruit movement from other areas. So let that go. So if I don't have that range of movement in my wrist, if I don't have this kind of movement in my wrist, I'll do this with my hand. So I'm going to overuse the elbows. I'm going to overuse the tissue and the tendons up here in the forearm as opposed to using this here. Okay, so last week I introduced you to something that kind of works the whole chain from the hand all the way up, where we take the hand out in front with the palm facing down. Let's start on the right, everybody. So hand out, palm facing down, and then you're going to bend the elbow, sweep the hand in under your chin. As you sweep the hand under your chin, turn your palm up, and then come out to the front, right? So it's like you've got something on your hand here, like you're serving something. Turn your palm down. We're going to take the palm in toward the center of the body, come under your chin as you turn your palm up, go out to the side and forward. Turn the palm down. So just going to keep doing this little movement here. As you get under your chin, that's when you turn your palm up, and then you straighten your arm and come forward. Turn the palm down. Come in, just keep breathing, right? So it doesn't matter if you don't quite get this, that's okay. Relax your jaw. I see some clenched jaws out there, right? Smile a little bit. That's always a little helpful. Good. Excellent. Okay, so everybody, let's land with the palm up. And now we're going to go the opposite way. So go out to the side with your palm up. Come in under your chin. Right? As you come under your chin, now you're going to turn your palm down and come forward. Palm up, Go out to the side. Come in under your chin with your palm. It's like you're putting your chin under your palm onto your chin. Turn your palm down and come forward. Palm up. Breathe, you guys. Take some breaths. It's all good, right? Even if you don't quite get this, that's all right. One more time. Palm up. Good. And this is great because it's giving us, okay, relax that. We'll go to the other side. But what I really like about that kind of movement is that we're getting a rotational movement in the wrist, we're getting a rotational movement in the elbow, and we're getting rotational movement in the shoulder. And that's where our power comes from, is rotational movement. So take your left hand forward, palm facing down, and then we go in, under the chin, turn the palm up, out to the right, out to the left. There we go. Yeah, it's my right. I'm confused. So here we go, right? Same thing. So palm comes down as we pull the arm in, and then when we get under the chin, the palm comes up, and we go out, right? Good. Excellent. Next time you have your hand out in front with your palm up, we're going to pause here, and then we're going to go out to the side, come in, and as you come in, your palm is under your chin, and then you're going to turn it down and come forward. Palm up, go out to the side, come under, palm under, and forward. Palm up, breathe in, breathe out, right? No breath holding. It's tempting to hold your breath when you're learning something new, right? Or you're, even if it's not brand new, it's like this isn't a normal movement for your body, and there's lots of joints that are getting moved in some really strange ways. So your brain is kind of going, I think we better, let's just pause the breath, because that's like one too many things I got to juggle. Okay, one more time. How's that? One more time. Good. Palm down and forward. Shake that all out. Excellent. Okay, so let's do a little bit of work now for the fingers, right? So we're just going to move the fingers a little bit here this morning. How are they doing? Stiff. Yeah. Fingers can get a little stiff, right? Yeah. We work our hands a lot. A lot. Okay, so let's squeeze the hands. Not so much that they hurt, especially if you have some joints that are a little sore. Don't squeeze too hard, but squeeze a good amount here. And then we're going to extend the fingers, right? So you're spreading your fingers as wide as they'll go, and keep breathing. So once again, we're going to squeeze. Give it a good squeeze. And then you're going to extend. And now we're going to hold this extension in the fingers. And as you're holding the extension in the fingers, relax your shoulders and your elbows, right? So you don't have to have your arms straight. We're going to bring the little fingers and the thumbs as far away from each other as they'll go. So you can feel and I'm going to say the word stress, and I mean it in a good way. You're going to feel the stress of trying to pull this little finger as far away from this thumb as it can go. You feel where that stress is in each of your hands, right? Y'all can feel that? Okay, now change the concentration. Keep the little finger and the thumb as far away from each other as they can go. But now what I want you to do is concentrate on these 3 middle fingers and spread them as far away from each other as they can go. So that shifts the stress in your hand to a different location, right? So keep pulling them as far away as they'll go. Keep breathing. Relax that a little bit. And now once again, going back to the little fingers and the thumbs. Pull the little fingers and thumbs as far away from each other as they can go. So we're shifting the stress now from the 3 middle fingers to the little finger and the thumb. And then shifting once again into those 3 middle fingers. Pull those 3 middle fingers as far away from each other as they'll go. And you might notice like they come forward a little bit or they come back a little bit. Just get them as far away from each other as possible. Right? It's like they just don't like each other. They just want to be as far away as possible. Good. And then relax all that and shake out your hands. Wow, who knew, right? So we hold a lot of tension in our hands. So when someone says to me, my hands are stiff, my hands are tight, my joints are aching, we got to get through that whole range of movement that's possible in the fingers. And that's a range that we don't often do, is this big range here. We do a lot of this. We do a lot of this. So the other movement I want to do is to bring the fingers together, but without bending at the knuckles. We're going to keep the knuckles straight. We're going to keep all the fingers straight, and we're going to pull them in and squeeze the fingers together in this fashion, right? You can have your palms up or down, doesn't matter. So pull your fingers away, and then pull your fingers together and really squeeze them. Squeeze the thumbs in there too, right? And again, you can have your palms up, you can have your palms down, whatever relaxes your shoulders and your jaw the most, right? So if you're doing this, I would say try turning your palms up. So we're squeezing those fingers together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And again, this is a movement we don't do very much. And then pull them apart. And one more time. Good. All right, and then interlace your fingers. Oh, that feels so good to interlace your fingers, right? And now press your palms away. So we're giving a nice little stretch there for the fingers. And then bring it back and just kind of squeeze the hands. Release and re-engage in the opposite way. So if your right thumb was on the top before, now your left thumb is on the top. Okay, so same thing. Give it a good little squeeze. It's like you're praying really hard for this to be over. And then you're going to press your palms away. Oh, nice little stretch. And pull back together. Good. Excellent. Okay, shake that out a little bit. Okay, hands on your lap or on your thighs. And we're going to do a little bit of movement now, getting from the hands up to the shoulders and the neck, and we're going to move down the spine a bit. So we're going to take the chin down to the chest, and then the nose toward the navel. So you're rounding through your spine, and then your forehead down toward the floor. So it's like you're tilting your pelvis back. You're rounding like a little shrimp. You're rounding your spine. Then push into your hands and come all the way up so you're straightening your spine. And then with your arms nice and straight, extend your spine this way. Don't lift your chin way up though, okay? So you want to keep your chin kind of neutral. I'll show you from the side. So we're going to bring the chin to the chest, nose to the navel, forehead to the floor. So we've got this nice rounded back. And then pressing into the hands. We're lifting up. We're straightening the arms, and we're arching the back. So that's the whole movement. Now breathe in and out in a way that feels good for you. What feels natural to me is that when I extend my spine like this, when I'm arching my back, a breath in feels really good. And when I'm rounding my back, a breath out feels more natural for me. That may not be the case for you. You may find it to be the opposite. So whatever works for you, that's what I'll encourage you to do. Yes, shrimp all the way to the tailbone. Yeah. Yep. So a couple more. For those of you who have done or do classical kind of mat yoga, this is cat-cow in the chair. That's all this is, right? Or cat and dog. Some people say cat and dog. Okay, then coming back to kind of that neutral position. So we got that flexion and extension in the spine. Really good to get those joints moving as well. We're going to do the same thing. Your spine is kind of unique because we have all this different movement capability. We've got flexion and extension in the sagittal plane going forward and back, and then we've got flexion and extension going side to side. So now we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder. And we're going to take the right shoulder down toward the right hip. And as you do, just keep going. Don't let your left sitting bone come up off the chair. So you can see you're kind of rounding to the right in your spine, that is. And then you're going to come all the way up. And then you're going to take your left ear to your left shoulder. And then your left shoulder to your left hip. And then you're rounding down, down, down. So again, you've got this side bending, side rounding, if you will, on that right side, and then coming all the way up. So we'll do that one more time on each side. Now only go as far as is comfortable for you. If this makes you dizzy or a little lightheaded, just don't do the head. You can do just the shoulder and go over to the side, right? Just make sure you're not holding your breath. because holding your breath is going to make that a little more uncomfortable. Going to the left. Good. Coming all the way up. How about one more time on each side, you guys? So head to shoulder, and then shoulder to hip. And then coming back. And then to the left. And coming all the way back. Good. All right. So let's, we're going to do a little bit more rotation here. So we've done that forward bending, backward bending, side bending. We're going to do some rotation. We've already looked over the right shoulder. Let's do that again. Look over your right shoulder. And then pull your right shoulder back and your left shoulder forward. And then keep pulling that twist down toward your sitting bone. So it's like you're trying to slide your left sitting bone forward and your right sitting bone back, but don't let them actually move on the chair. So you get this twist all the way down to your sitting bones. And then untwist and come back to the center. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So turn your head first to the left, then your shoulders. So pulling the left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. See if you can twist out to the left. Coming back to that center. One more time to the right. So it's a nice deep twist here in the spine. And you might notice you prefer to twist in one direction than the other, and then come back to center. And then let's go all the way to the left. So same thing. Try not to let your sitting bones slide on the chair, though. So we want to keep the sitting bones anchored. We want the movement to be up above the sitting bones. And then back to center. Good. All right. Let's bring the feet a little wider than the hips. Okay, so, or a little wider than the chair legs. How's that? So we talked last week about the hip joints. If you remember, the hip joint is your leg bone, your femur, where it comes, so the top of your femur has like a ball on it, and it comes into your pelvis, and that's like a socket. So the movement here is like, it's like a ball and socket, and we want to get that warmed up a little bit. And the best way to do that is to come forward and back with your feet nice and wide. Right? So just forward and backward movement. Got the leg out at a little bit of an angle. You're breathing in and breathing out, and it doesn't matter when. Right? It doesn't matter when you're breathing in and when you're breathing out. I should say that more explicitly. It is important that you continue to breathe in and breathe out. Okay. So just coming forward and back, we're just getting some movement in the hip joint there, on the right, hip joint on the left. Okay, one more time, forward and back. And then we're going to take the feet closer together. So again, we just did movement for the joint with the legs out like this, so the joint was getting moved in this direction, and now with the feet a little bit closer, what we're going to do is lift and lower one leg at a time, right? So part of this is a little more challenging because we have to use the lower abdominal muscles to lift up. And can you go nice and slow? Can you do it without leaning from side to side? Without collapsing into your body here? Can you just lift and lower? And maybe you can lift just an inch, and that's okay. So we're just doing whatever is possible here from one side to the other, right? Couple more. Okay. And then all the way down. Now bring your feet, they were really wide before, right? And then we just had them close together. Go halfway between. So does that make sense? Okay, so you're halfway between where we were when we first did this and where we just were. So from here, we're going to lift the right leg, and then you're going to turn your leg so that your foot is coming toward your left. And then center and down, right? We're going to do the same thing on the left. So you're just lifting your left foot, you're turning the leg from the hip, you're coming back and down. Let's do that a couple more times. So hold on to your chair. That supports the back a little bit, keeps you with nice integrity in the spine. You don't have to come in really far. Some people are not going to get a lot of movement. Some people are going to get more movement in one hip than the other. If you've had one hip replaced, You might notice a difference from side to side, that you've got a different range of movement available. How's everybody doing here? Yeah? So the movement is happening from way up here, right? It's from way up in the upper leg. Okay. How about one more time on each side? Can we do that? Are you all breathing? Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Now bring your feet just a tiny bit closer. All right? So just kind of feel. So that movement of the legs out to the side, that has a when I think about movements, and I think about how we move our bodies, when we're done with that movement, there's a signature that you can still feel. Every movement has a signature, and you can still feel that in your body. So that's what that pause is for. It's just to recognize that signature. So now with your feet, like I say, a little bit closer together, not super close, but a little bit closer together, we're going to do a similar movement to that. So you might want to hold on to your chair. Hold on to your chairs. And then we're going to lift that foot up. And instead of bringing the foot in, we're going to bring the foot out a little bit. And then down. So again, the movement is happening way up in the top part of the leg. Out. And then down. Right? So before we were doing this. And now we're doing this. Right? So for those who can't see. Right? So here I am, I've lifted my leg, and I'm just doing this. And the movement's happening way up here, right? So don't like over twist at your knee. Don't over rotate your ankle. This is happening from way up here. See if you can feel it way up in the hip. And it might be a little less comfortable. And you certainly have a lot less rotation, right? Yeah. Yeah. And you might notice one side is significantly different than the other. And that's all normal. Right? Good. One more time on each side. And take a breath. Good. And then down. Let's just kind of march in place a little bit. Good. Okay. And then you're going to sit back in your chair. So we're going to give those hips a little bit of a break and the low back a little bit of a break. Y'all still with me? You're welcome. So let's turn our attention to the knees now, right? So let's see what's possible at the knees. So let's just extend and bend, right? Nice and easy. As you're doing this, compare right side and left side. Does one leg feel... does it feel like you can extend one knee more straight than the other? Does one leg feel stronger than the other? Yeah, just like what are the differences, right? So I'm just trying to think of what might be the differences. So next time you bend, just kind of hold here. We're going to go to the right side only. So extend your right leg and straighten your right knee. And we're going to point and flex the foot. You're going to keep the knee straight, and we're just pointing and flexing the foot. And again, inhaling and exhaling whenever, in whatever pattern feels okay. And then circle at the ankle. So again, keeping that leg nice and straight. Good. And reverse direction of those ankle circles. Good, and then you can bend the knee and bring that foot back down. Let's go the other side. So extend that left, and we're going to point and flex. Point and flex. Good. Nice breathing in and out as you're doing this. And then let's circle, circle, circle. Circle around. Circle the other way. Good, and then bend that knee and bring that foot back down. So let's take the right leg now, extend it up, and we're going to turn the foot to the inside like you're trying to find gum on the bottom of your foot. So you're turning your foot to the inside, and you can feel that not just in the ankle and the foot, but you can feel it in the knee and the hip, right? Everything, you're trying to turn that as hard as you can. Even your toes are working in a funky little way, right? So your toes are kind of pointing a little bit here. And then let's go to the outside. So you're trying to find gum on the outside of the foot. So same thing. And if this isn't available, you can do this on the floor. You can straighten your leg and do it on the floor if that's better for you. You just have to come forward in your chair, right? So we're just going, looking for gum on the outside, looking for gum on the inside. Breathing in and out, looking for gum on the outside, looking for gum on the inside. Couple more. Good, and then bend that knee, bring that foot down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So extend your left, and we're just going to turn and look for gum on the inside of the foot. Look for gum on the outside. And once again, just notice it's not just your ankle that's working here. Your toes are working, your knee is working, your hip is getting a stretch. So the next time you're looking on the inside, really move your toes, like you could use your toes to create even more of a movement in, and then more of a movement out. You're probably noticing you can look on the inside a whole lot easier than on the outside, right? Yeah. Anybody not have that experience? Okay, good, because you would be a case study. I would want to do a paper on you. Okay, and bend that knee and bring that all the way down. And so I want to explain to you why we all find it easier to look on the inside. Because usually I say, some people can move this way, some people can move that way. Not true for this. And the reason is because of how your ankle is constructed. So if there's two ways to do this. If you can cross your legs so that you're comfortable and you can comfortably reach your ankle with your other hand, go ahead and do that. If you can't do that, if that just isn't like the most comfortable, you can just have your foot down on the floor and we'll do it. So the first thing I want you to do is take your, if you've got your right leg crossed, you're going to take your left hand and find your ankle bone on the inside. You all find the big knobby bone on the inside? That's the inside of your ankle bone, right? That's the inside of your ankle. Now you're going to go to the outside and you're going to feel a much bigger bone out there, right? Yeah, that's a much bigger bone. Now the really interesting thing is you're going to take your thumb and your fingers and you're going to grab hold of the bottom of those bone, the bone on the inside and the bone on the outside, and feel how much lower your outside bone is than your inside bone. It's a lot lower, right? It's a lot lower. It should be a lot lower. It better be a lot lower. Yeah. Okay. So let's check the other side and make sure we get the same thing. So we're going to check the other side and I'll explain this to you in a minute. So first let's find that inside of the ankle. So you got a bone there, right on the inside. And then go to the outside. That's the one you usually whack, the one on the outside, right? The big one on the outside. And then feel the inside and outside. And hopefully the outside's lower than the inside. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, Netter was good when he did his anatomy book. Let's uncross the legs now. Okay, so the reason your ankle, the bone on the outside, is lower than the bone on the inside is because they're different bones, right? So the one on the inside is your tibia. It's the big bone here in your shin. It goes all the way from the bottom of your knee to the top of your ankle. That is the inside head of the tibia bone in there. On the outside, the big bone on the outside, is your fibula. So you've got two bones in your lower leg. Do you all know that? You have two bones in your lower leg? So the tibia is the big bone. I think of the tibia kind of like the dog bone, right? It's a really big bone. And then the fibula is a little, much smaller bone that runs down the outside of your leg, but it has a big knob here on the outside. And that's the outside part of your ankle. And that's more for stability, right? So the inside part is for mobility, and the outside part is for stability. And the reason I say that is because the inside leg bone, the tibia, it sits on the something called the talus in your ankle. It sits on a bone in your foot, basically. And it does all of the rotation. Your fibula, on the other hand, is on the outside, and it's there to support it so you don't get too wobbly in your movement, right? So that's why we have better movement in than movement out. So that will not be on the test, but it's just good to know. It's just good to know. Okay, So let's bring the feet a little wider than the hips again. We're going to bring the feet back to the floor. We're just going to integrate a couple of different things here. So take your right elbow and forearm, and you're going to lean that over onto your right leg. So it's like we're having a really intimate conversation here, right? So we've got this little conversation going. So we're going to take the left hand and place it on your sacrum. Do y'all know where your sacrum is? It's that big bone right here at the base of your spine. It's like right above your bum. It's a big flat bone right above your bum. So you're going to hold your hands there, and we're going to pull the shoulder back and bring your chest up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to pull the shoulder forward and bring your chest down to the floor. And the reason you have your hand on your sacrum and then open up toward the ceiling is just to give you a guide to move around. Now, if it doesn't feel okay to lift your head up when you're going toward the ceiling, you can actually keep your head forward or down. And I actually like to do this rotation with the head down because it gives me more rotation in the spine. So when I get to the neck and the shoulders, it's easier to move that than it is to move the mid-back. So breathing in and breathing out in whatever way feels okay for you. And one more time, kind of rolling that back and down. Okay. And then what we're going to do, instead of coming up, we're going to go over to the left. So we're just going to lean over onto that left elbow, take your right hand to your sacrum, roll the shoulder back and open up toward the ceiling, and then open toward the floor. All right? So we're moving up toward the ceiling and toward the floor, and we're breathing in and breathing out. So again, just getting a little more rotation here, a little more movement in parts of the spine that maybe we don't normally. Okay. And the next time that you're kind of rolled down toward the floor, we're going to pause here. We're going to take the right hand to the right thigh, and you're going to roll into that right hand and push yourself back up. And then walk your feet in together. We're going to take the right leg and cross it over the left. Right leg over the left. Going to take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. You're going to take your right hand along the back of your chair, and we're going to twist out to the right, giving just a little bit of an assist with that left hand as you press gently into your leg. And you're twisting around as far as you can, and you're breathing in and breathing out, so not holding your breath. And then unwind that, coming back to center. We're going to uncross the legs, recross them the other way. Good job. Right hand to the outside. Take your left hand to your chair. We're going to twist out to the left. Nice little crack in the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. And then come all the way back. Good. Excellent. Uncross that. Coming down to the feet. Bring your feet in toward your chair a little bit. Keep your heels on the floor, though, so you don't want them in way in. Just enough that you can keep your heels on the floor. Sit up nice and tall, and we're going to come up on the toes and down to the heels. And up and down. So we're just coming up and down. Good. I can hear a little bit of noise out there. That's good. That's all good. Okay, and then do one at a time, like opposites, right? So one at a time, little opposites. Okay, and then let's bring both feet down to the floor. Take the top of your right foot, place it on the floor underneath your chair, and just push down into the top of that right foot a little bit. Get a little stretch through the shin, through the muscles here. And then bring that out. Same thing on the left. So if you've got a little sock under your chair, if you're barefoot, that might feel comfortable. Let's do that one more time on each side. So let's go over to the right. Little stretch. And over to the left. Little stretch. Good. And then bring both feet to the floor. Have a look down there and say hello to your toes. Always save the toes for last, right? Last but not least. How are you doing this morning, toes? Everybody awake? Let's see if we can lift and lower. Mine are awake. Yeah, mine are awake. They woke up an hour ago. So we're lifting and lowering all the toes. And how's that going? Pretty good, huh? Yeah. Keep your heels and the balls of your feet on the floor. We're just lifting the toes. So if you lift the heels or you lift the balls of your feet, you're working your ankles. So we want to be working the toes. So now let's see if we can keep the littles on the floor. We're just going to lift and lower the bigs. Lift and lower the bigs. And notice how that's going this morning. Easy, not so easy. Okay, and then keep the bigs on the floor, and we're going to lift and lower all the littles. Easy, not so easy. Some people find it easier to lift and lower the bigs. Some people find it easier to lift and lower the littles. Some people don't like either. Okay, and then let's lift everybody up. Lifting everybody up. And then let's lower and lift the bigs, but keep all the littles lifted. Lower and lift just the bigs. And notice, is that easier on one side than the other, right? And it might be very challenging for the littles to get involved in that. And then keep the bigs lifted and lower and lift the littles. Just the littles. Very interesting, right? Lift and lower just the littles. And then lower everybody down. Good. Let's come up and do a little Barbie foot on each side. So we're just kind of holding here, pressing down, down, down. Let's come up on the top of one foot, and then the top of the other foot, and then bring both feet back down to the floor. Okay. Let's lift up all the toes. Spread them out nice and wide. And then see if you can lower them down one at a time, starting with your littlest toe, going all the way to your biggest toe. And then see if you can lift with your biggest toe, going all the way to your littlest toe. All right? Relax and take a breath, because I know you all were holding your breath. So let's try this again. So we're going to lift all the toes. Spread them out. It's a package deal. Spread them out nice and wide. And then starting with your littlest toes, lower each toe, if you can get it independently, separately, all the way down. Breathe in, breathe out, and then lift starting with your bigs, going all the way to your littles. Let's try that one more time, lowering from the littles all the way to the bigs. And lifting from the bigs all the way to the littles. Great. And then let's just lift and lower a few times. All right, lift them up. Spread them out nice and wide. Lower them down. Keep them spread out nice and wide. Lift them up. Relax your feet. And then lower your toes down to the floor. Take a breath. Okay, so a lot of the movement we do and we focus on is about this sort of independent movement forward and back with the toes. But you have movement between the toes as well, just like your hands. So remember the movement we did with the hands, where we spread the fingers and then we pulled the fingers together? You have the same muscles, same kind of muscles, between the metatarsal bones in your feet that create that movement in and out. So we're going to try that. So if you want, show your feet your hands, right? Say, okay, feet, here are the hands, and you can have your hands on your knees, and spread your hands so that your fingers are really wide, and then see if you can lift up your toes a little bit and spread your toes as wide as they'll go, right? So you're trying to do the same thing. Yeah, Ellen. Do 1 foot at a time. Okay. You can focus on it. Do it. Yeah, whatever gets you there. I'm for it. And then see if you can bring your fingers all together and squeeze all your toes together, but don't scrunch them, right? So you're keeping them straight like you're keeping your fingers straight, but you're squeezing them together. You can do it on the floor or lift it, doesn't matter. So we're spreading the fingers and the toes really wide. And then we're bringing the toes and the fingers close together. So we're doing this movement with fingers and toes. Right? And I think we're breathing. Breathing more than just the minimal, right? Yeah? Oh, I love the concentration. This is great. This is great. Yeah. We're not used to doing this kind of movement. But we need this kind of movement. Okay, how about one more time? Spread the fingers and toes really wide. And then bring them back together. Good. Take a breath and relax. We're going to do one more of these movements for that. I'm calling them the splay muscles, if you will. So they're the muscles between your metatarsal bones here. The ones on the top of your foot make your bones, make your toes do this, and the ones on the bottom part of your foot make your toes do that. So, and they look like little worms. They look like the shape of the muscle is like a little worm between each of the bones. It's kind of, it is. I'm thinking of gardening, right? Like how important are worms for gardening, right? So the little worms in your feet are really important. So let's do this. Let's lift up the toes. You're going to plant your big toe down on the ground. If you have 2 of them, plant both of them. Sorry. So you're planting your big toes on the ground. Now see if you can get your littlest toes as far away from the big toes as possible. It's just what we did here, right? Remember, we took the thumb and the little finger far away? So the reason you're planting your big toe on the ground is because it gives you a little bit of leverage. So you're getting your little toes as far away from your big toes as they'll go, right? And you're breathing. And now see if you can shift that focus to those 3 middle toes and get the 3 middle toes as far away from one another as they'll go. And breathe. And relax. That's a lot of work for your feet. That's a lot of work for your feet. So just kind of tap your feet out a little bit. So once again, just thinking about the structure of your foot and the structure of your hand. They're very similar. You have a lot of bones. Half of all the bones in your body are contained in your feet and hands. Half of all the bones in your body. That's a lot. And you've got so many joints in your hands and feet. Now we know about the joints in our hands because we use the hands a lot. We don't use the feet in the same way. We actually have more joints in the feet than we have in the hands. We've got like 6 less joints in the hands than we do in the feet. And you don't have a joint unless there needs to be movement. So it's kind of like basic engineering. If you need something to be strong and stable without movement, you make it solid. So my leg bone, I don't need that thing moving around. I need that thing to be really strong and solid. So it is one bone from hip to knee. When I get to my foot, I don't need stability there. I need a lot of movement. So they've engineered a lot of joints there so that I've got access to that movement. So doing these crazy little foot yoga things are super important to restoring some of that and getting out of those big, comfortable, restrictive shoes is another way. And you all know my feeling about that, so I won't say anymore. Okay, so make yourself comfortable. You can sit back in your chair if you want. You can sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Just take a moment to appreciate all the movement you were doing this morning. We did it all. From your head to your shoulders, to your arms, your hands, your fingers, all the way down the spine to the pelvis, to the hips, to the legs, to the knees, ankles, feet, toes. Everybody had the opportunity to move. We all had the opportunity to investigate parts of ourselves that we tend to move a lot, that we feel comfortable with, that we were able to do easily, and then those parts that are not easy. And it's in those places where it's not easy that we will find the most growth. Focusing a little more time and attention on those parts that don't generally get a lot of movement. And then just noticing the breath. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. And taking a nice deep breath, let it out with a sigh. And just take your hands together and thanks for all your movement. And then maybe just opening your eyes and just being thankful to be here with all of you. So have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all next week. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.